This is September 27, 2024, and it starts to come down now, the cold weather, but still is it okay, the temperature, but it's much rain now, but it's okay. But I started to buy food delivering to my home because of the weather. It's very much hard wind today, and I think it's sometimes is it that is coming from Atlantic Sea over from United States when it's stormy weather, hurricanes. It can be some wind coming from that direction, and it was sometimes very hard wind, and but I had got a friend, a female friend, and she wanted to come to my home for the first time, and she was not scared to be out in the strong wind, and I heard it was talking outside my door, and then she was standing together with the man that delivered the food for me, and they were talking, and I think it was so great because I have had him deliver food for since I come to this apartment, so it's 5 years now. And he is very kindly and love to talk. And he come and I think it was great because I have not told him to say what he was telling her. And he said that I was very kind lady, that he loved my kindness, and so she heard that he did see me in the positive way. So already there he prepared her for me to be nice person, and that I think it's God's way to do it. He kickstart her by make the delivering man coming in the same time to my door. So that was nice, and I didn't want to talk to him so very much because I was frightened that he should say something or I should say something that took away these kindly words he said to her about me. And so she come to my home, and what started the whole thing was that I was in the store I think 4 or 5 days ago, and I had not seen her, but she saw me because I have the scooter, so she knew it was me, and I should never, because she was walking, and she come and say, "Oh, there's you are, Anna." She say, and we have become friends on Facebook, but not talking so much. But she was one of my friends. And then she say, I will come and she say we need to come together and talk a little more, she say. But it was about, she had this roller. She didn't walk on her own. She have a roller. And that's, here in Sweden we have those stroller that you can sit and rest. So she sit down and I was on my scooter. And we start to talk and it we were talking in 2 hours in the store. We laugh about it because it was perfect. We had so much in common, she and I. And I think why I had put her to be my friend on Facebook, it was because she had this last name, short names, that is connected to my family tree. But it's not exactly the same. But I was thinking it can be a form of that last name. There is many that have this name in my family tree. And how she was talking with me and I was talking to her, it seems like we were related because we had the same interest. And she said, we must talk a little more another day, she said. And then she called me on Facebook and said, we must come together. And she said where to sit and eat somewhere. But I said to her that she could come to my home. So she did, and she lived about 10-15 minutes from me. So it's not far away. So she come and sit down with me, help me, of course, to open up what I have bought from the store. And then we sit and drink coffee because she was a coffee drinker. That's something we were not the same about because I don't like coffee. But if there is people coming to my home, I serve the coffee for them because that's here in Sweden we drink very much coffee. But I have never liked coffee. But I drink half, I think, cup. I didn't drink up the whole coffee. And we were sitting 4 hours and talk. And it started to be dark. So she had to go home because she didn't want to go in the darkness. And we were sitting and talking, and she say that she grew up in a very hard Christian family that was very hard on her, and she was the only child, and her mother was 39 when she was born, and so she was about the same as me. My mother was 42 when she got me, and her mother 39. So in that we have also the same, but she didn't have an alcoholic or as a father like I had. She had been in a safe home and but with very much Christian hard rules. So it can happen that she is Jewish like me, but she thought it was Christianity, these things that she learned. And it maybe was a mixed, like my parents tried to hide everything. So, and she was born in the 40s. This my new friend, and I had never had a friend, a female friend. I had some female friend when I was in the teens, but they were with me because I had money, and so I buy beer for them, or sometimes we drink wine, and I was the one that could buy it, and then I had another friend, a female friend. She was older than me, and I didn't know anything about homosexuality, but she was homosexual. But I think she was double. She was with both men and women, and she have make me be her new pray. She hunting me and wanted to have sex with me, and so she was not my friend because she wanted to use me, and that is not a friend. A friend should share together and give to each other, and not one should not only take and take and take. It should be the same thing for both sides. And I knew that, even if I didn't have a real friend, I knew how a friend should be. So that was not my friends. And then I was together with my first man when I was 19 years old, and he didn't share me with anyone, and I was not allowed to have a girlfriend, and so it's turned out to be that though I got men very quick, and they didn't want me to have a friend coming to our home, and they didn't have friends coming to their home. So it was the same thing. It was empty of friends. We lived together, only he and I, and nothing coming from the outside. And my son's father, he find a friend, and they become to be his friend. So when we break up, they be angry at me that I broke up with such a nice man, because he showed them a nice side of him. So they never saw how abusive he was. And so it's what's going on like that, and I never had a chance to get a female friend. And then, God come and talked to me, and I left Sweden and come to United States. And there I had, for a short while, a female friend. But it was that she saw me like a preacher. So she wanted me to come as a leader to the churches we were in. And then I should be on the altar and either sing or preach. And she was there in the music, because she was playing flute, those side flute. And it was amazing that one day when she was playing in the music and I was preaching, and I have told her, you don't play flute when I preach, I say to her, because you need to hear what I preach. And one day when I preach, her flute broke. And it was so bad because it was expensive to fix it. And I told her after, that was what God did to you. God broke your flute because he didn't want you to play when your friend was preaching. And that's what I had told her. But she didn't believe that I knew that. So it broke, and she never got the flute back because she didn't have the money. And that was the only friend I had in the United States. And it lasted only maybe 1 month like that. And because the last thing I saw of her was when I come to her home unexpected. And I had my daughter with me because my daughter visited me in the United States. And she was sitting with her neighbor's friend. And I could tell that they had had sex with each other. And she was drinking in front of me, and she behaved like a whore. And so I left her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. And so I have not had real friends, a girlfriend. So this is the first friend I have. And she was raised Christian in the church with parents that was in the church all the time. And I think it's so very interesting because she read books And she is much older than me, so she have never learned English. It was me. I know that because I was the first generation to get English in the school. So I have, in that time, in my generation, I was the first one, or my class was the first one that got English as from now. Today it's immediately, directly when they start school at 6, they learn English. But for me was it when I was 9 years old, we started with English. And so and then I wanted to study at the university, and I needed to have English in like more than high school, 3 years high school English. And so I could read the books, because I studied psychology, and those books we had to study, and they were not translated in Swedish. We had to read them in English, and the test was in English. So, but I was allowed to come into the university because I did go through the test in English, and then I come to United States, and I learned English there, American English there, and it's 6 years, and so I know very much American English, but not perfect, but at least so you hear what I'm talking about in this podcast. So she was very good because she know very much Christian things, because she didn't watch television so much. She studied history and Christianity, but she knew she had. I thought it was fun because I didn't told her, but she had the Quran in her home, and she had read the whole Quran. So she knew more than me when it's come to books, and that make it so interesting, because I have been in those places. I have been in Israel 4 times, and I have been on my own and find out things and meet people there in Israel, and been in Palestine and to the West Bank, and those things that she only read about. So we fit each other in that way, that she knew from books, but I don't do that. I know by experience and what the Spirit is telling me. So she was sent to me. I am really sure she sent to me to be this, to fit in what I'm missing, because when God come and talked to me in year 2000, I lost the ability to could read books. But now I have one that read books. And she has some magazine, Israel's Friend here in Sweden. She is with them. So she have some magazine for me to read whenever I can read. And I can only read some few parts. I can only read some, maybe 10 lines. Then I must rest and then take another time to read 10 sentences until everything I have read. So it, when I was at the university, God have not coming to me yet. So I could read all the books we had at the university. I heard someone ask that in their mind, and I heard it, that you was asking this about how did you could study at the university when you couldn't read books. But that was another time. I have been reborn, born again, as it says. So there was a time when I was at the library and I carry home much books and read, like my daughter are doing now. She knows so much more than me. And even if in this with Israel, and she teach me about it, because I have only the experience of Israel, but not studied it. I have been to some Bible studies when I was in United States, so I learned some, but they have everything of it. So that's very good. So someone is saying that to me in the spirit, to say that's the library we built up for you, because it's in heaven. If you are so much so you can come into the throne room, to God in the throne room, you have full of library. And that is not books. It's people that tell you, to teach you from there what they have come to know by reading books. They don't have the books in you. They don't give you a book in your hand. They have the book in their mind, so they can tell you. And that is starting now, that she have this book in her hand, and she have come to be my friend. And my daughter have one book from the library, and she have one book from the library. So it started to build up the God's throne room in my home here. So I can't move away from this place, because it start to build up a place. They told me, I have told you about the first day when it was empty here in this apartment, that they told me from heaven that this is going to be the gathering place. They told me that from heaven. And now they started to build up the library for us, you that want to come and share your time with us. You could read those books that is in the brain of a person. You're gonna hear the truth, and then she believed in Jesus, and my daughter believed in Jesus. So from Jesus, I can't take any knowledge from Jesus to God. Though that time, that space is something I only have. And I don't know if there will be more people that have this. I told her that I know, and she was talking about Jesus, and I say to her, I don't am in Jesus anymore. I told her, because I have moved forward, so I am in God now. But of course, I accept Jesus and love Jesus, but I have moved forward. That these people have not done that, but I was allowed to come into heaven, and God make me to be His daughter by those hit me on my shoulder with this gold stuff. And it is no other people that have come to be in that way, so close to God as I am. And I told her that I had come to know Jesus, and I know Jesus, and I told her that he is coming to my home here, Jesus, sometimes. And I told her that he always showed me that it is he that is coming to my home as a spirit, because I can see that he look out in my garden. So that is, Jesus belong to the garden. Jesus doesn't belong to the throne room of God. But that I have not told her about. I can't tell everything just now. I have to move a little slowly with her. But that's where he belongs, because that's what I saw when I come to heaven. And he was outside God's throne room. He was in the garden, and I saw Jesus there. And then those 6 higher priests, they took me into God's throne room. So it was not Jesus that took me in. His limit was to be in the garden in heaven. And he is the master of the heavenly garden today, and he have done his work here on earth. So he is not going to do the same thing. He may be rest now and will return to earth. That I don't know yet. But he is in garden just now. And then I come into the throne room. And that I told her that, and she didn't say anything about it because she have read about what I have told on Facebook, but it's very much on Facebook because I started on Facebook 2007, so it's 17 years since I started to write my story. So, and she don't know English, so she must take it to translate the whole thing. So she didn't say anything against what I told her. She listened, and I listened at her. And she had me have this magazine with her, so I have some magazine to read. And she wrote me back now on Facebook and thanked me for to be together with me, and she was sorry that she didn't let me eat. As I have diabetes, I needed to eat. And I was not thinking about it because we sit and enjoy the talking. And she have studied. She have studied at the university, so she was educated. So that's a person I can talk to. And but she have been married, and she told me that her husband didn't believe in God, and but she had kids. She have children, so she had not had really exactly the same. She have one grandchild that she can't come in contact with. So she have a little about what I have, so she can understand when I'm talking about it. We are lost of children. So this is God have given me, and I have not thinking about it. That is so good when I do this podcast, that sometimes more knowledge is coming, and sometimes the spirit's coming through and talk. And just now the spirit was talking a little to me to confirm that this about the library that they told me. This is not what I was thinking. They placed that inside my brain now when I'm recording, and they confirmed that the library is not books. That's why God didn't want me to read books. It's in people's mind we have the library. So that's the true thing. There is no physical book in heaven. If you have thinking that there is no books in heaven, and that is right. You have right when you're thinking like that, because the books is in those people in heaven, in their brains. So you hear from them. So this was a new knowledge we got today. And It's up to you to believe or not. I only tell you what I see and hear. And it's people, you have a free will. We all have free will. I had no free will because I was in God's kingdom, in His family, the God in heaven. And I told her that I met who created God. And so I told her that the mother of God, the creator of God, is an energy. And so I told her that I come into heaven, and she was there and was talking to me, and she allowed me to come into heaven. She sit there in front of heavens. There was 7 doors at the walls where she was sitting, but they were closed. And she gave me 2 doors. They are talking to me now. The spirits are talking now. You that have followed me and listened to my podcast, you know I was talking about when I come into this cave, and there are only tables on the side when I walk into the hall, and I saw on the right side of the cave there was table, and on the table there was pergaments, those rules, papyrus rules that was written, like when I opened it was like a rebus, like a puzzle. And I could understand them. It was 7 tables. But there was, when I come to the 6 and 7 table, I couldn't understand what it was saying to me. And that now, when I talk to you now, they are telling me that why I couldn't understand those 2. But they open up and was laying like all the other, because now I know that they should be open later on. They were not to open up in that time when I was walking in the cave. So now have I got the answer on why I didn't understood them, and in that way they were not open by my knowledge. They were open because I should come to understand them later on, so they become open for me, and I could go forward in the cave. And it was that time when I saw it was like a crack in the wall on the left side, and there was a stair up into a room, and that was the throne room of God. And it was a throne. It was not that throne room of God, it was the throne room of Jesus, because it was a dark cave, so I was in hell, in that time, because there was a separated room, and it was Milky Way floor, and the throne had 3 places to sit on, but one in the middle was higher up, and it was like of glass or crystal, and those thrones. And in the right corner of that room there was something shining like gold. And I know today, now it starts to work together, this, what I experienced for many years ago. And the golden, that was God's throne room, and that was the beginning of the throne, because I saw in year 2018 that the throne where God was sitting, it was of gold. Everything was of gold. And then I know the connection between hell and God's throne, because there where Jesus was to save those people that was in hell, that was not so very bad people, but they have been trapped into hell of the devil and his people. And Jesus was going, he was there in hell. And many people say that is not true, but many that preaching, we know that Jesus was for 3 days in hell, and there was his room, and he saved people, and they could come into the throne room by go through Jesus' throne room. So he's the savior. Jesus is the savior for those people that couldn't make it by themselves. But they were not bad people, but they couldn't come to the end where we all should come. We all need to go through this world of evil and good also, and come back to God. We're leaving God when we come down here on earth, and then we need to find our way back to home, to God, to heaven. And that's what many is going through Jesus' throne room to be saved of him, of Jesus, so they can enter into God's throne room and to the court, and got that way into heaven. So I thank you, the spirits that's coming down and educate us. You educate me also, because I didn't know how it's working. This was connected to each other. So thank you very much, and God bless you, and thank you for listening at my podcast.